You know that feeling, right? You grab your phone with a totally clear purpose, maybe to check the time or text just one person, and then whoosh, you fall in. 15 minutes just vanish in a blur of notifications, headlines, and that endless scroll. Then you kind of blink, look up, and think, wait a minute, what was I even doing? This isn't some glitch in your brain. It's actually a feature of the world we're all living in. Welcome to ZenXHacks. Here we give you simple, science-backed, life-tested hacks for thinking smarter, living calmer, and leveling up every single day. Okay, let's get into it. So let's be honest. Does your brain ever feel like a web browser with just way too many tabs open? You know, by the end of the day, you just feel completely mentally fried. If that sounds familiar, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to break down exactly why our focus feels so shattered these days, and most importantly, how to start piecing it back together. And that whole experience, it is not an accident. Nope, it's the result of a perfectly engineered system I call the attention trap. See, every single app, every alert, every infinite feed, it's designed by some of the most brilliant minds on the planet. And their goal isn't to help you, it's to hook you. It's an entire environment built from the ground up to capture and hold on to your focus. And you know, living inside this trap, it has real costs. If any of these symptoms look familiar to you, that constant mental fog, the feeling that you just can't concentrate on one thing for more than a few minutes, or even just full-blown burnout, I really want you to hear this. It is not a personal failure. These aren't signs that you're weak. They are the predictable outcomes of the environment we're in. So why are we so vulnerable to this trap in the first place? Well, the first piece of the puzzle is understanding that our brains are, for all intents and purposes, running on some really ancient software. We're trying to navigate the 21st century with hardware that was beta tested out on the savannah. What's so fascinating here is this fundamental mismatch. Our brains evolved in a world of information scarcity, where every new sight or sound, like a twig snapping in the distance, could mean danger or can mean dinner. We are literally hardwired to crave novelty and stimulation. But you take that exact same brain and drop it into today's world of infinite information abundance, and suddenly our survival instinct becomes a direct path to constant overstimulation. This quote just absolutely nails it. We have access to more information than any humans in history, but our brains were just not built for this kind of fire hose of data. The circuits are getting fried, and believe it or not, that's only half of the equation. So let's talk about how this gets even more complicated, because it's not just our evolutionary wiring that's the issue. The digital world is actively, and I mean brilliantly, designed to exploit that very wiring. Welcome to what we can call the Great Digital Skinner Box. So here's the crucial psychological principle at play. The psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered that the single most effective way to train a behavior is to reward it unpredictably. Think about it. If a pigeon gets a food pellet every single time it pecks a button, it'll just peck when it's hungry. But if that pellet only comes out randomly, well, that pigeon will peck compulsively all day long. It's the uncertainty that makes it so addictive. And this is the perfect modern analogy. Every single time you pull down to refresh your email or your Instagram feed or whatever, you are pulling the lever on a slot machine. Most of the time, you get nothing interesting. But every now and then, you hit the jackpot. A great photo, a juicy piece of news, an important message. And that's what keeps you pulling. This breakdown makes it crystal clear. In the classic experiment, you have a rat pressing a lever for a food pellet. In the digital version, the subject is you. The action is scrolling a feed. And the reward? It's that unpredictable hit of social validation or entertainment. A like, a comment, a funny video. It's the possibility of that reward that keeps us all pulling the lever over and over again. And this right here is the big aha moment. We think we're just using tools, but what's really happening is that we've all become participants in the largest psychological experiment in human history. One designed to condition us to keep scrolling, keep clicking, and keep giving away our most valuable asset, our attention. So let's be absolutely clear about this. If you feel like you just can't put your phone down, it is not because you have no willpower. It's because you are caught in a perfectly designed, dopamine-driven feedback loop. You're not broken. But the good news? You can absolutely break that loop.
Okay, so we've identified the trap. The big question is, how do we escape? This isn't about blaming technology. It's about reclaiming our own agency. So let's talk about the antidotes.
The strategy is really built on 3 foundational ideas. First, we have to throw a wrench in our own unconscious habits. Second, we need to become ruthless curators of what we actually let into our minds. And third, and this might be the hardest one of all, we need to rediscover the power of just doing nothing.
Okay, so disrupting your autopilot is all about adding friction. These actions, they seem small, but they are incredibly powerful. Just leaving your phone in another room forces you to make a conscious choice to go get it. Even something as simple as moving it to a different pocket breaks that mindless reflexive reach. It creates just enough of a pause for your conscious brain to catch up and ask, wait, am I choosing to do this or am I just running on autopilot?
Next up, you've got to curate your inputs. Think of it like a diet. Right now, most of us are surviving on a diet of digital junk food, these empty calories of content that just leave us feeling tired and unsatisfied. The answer isn't just to consume less, it's to consume better. Unfollow the accounts that make you feel bad. Turn off every single notification that isn't from a real human being. Get intentional.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most important step, redefining what rest actually is. We've kind of tricked ourselves into believing that collapsing on the couch and scrolling through TikTok is relaxation. It's not. It's just switching from one form of stimulation to another. True mental rest doesn't come from different input, it comes from less input. And this is where boredom becomes your secret weapon. We treat boredom like it's a problem to be solved, like it's a void that has to be immediately filled with content. But boredom isn't an absence, it's an opportunity. It's the space where your brain finally gets to process information, to make new connections, to have original thoughts. Staring out a window isn't lazy, it's where creativity actually begins. Now, let's be realistic here. The goal is not to abandon technology and go live in a cabin in the woods, unless you want to, of course. The solution is simply to move from mindless consumption to mindful engagement. It's about treating your digital life with intentionality, deciding what role you want these powerful tools to play, instead of just letting them decide for you. And here is the ultimate payoff. In a world where genuine focus is becoming the rarest and most valuable commodity, the ability to direct your attention, to think deeply without distraction, is no longer just a nice skill to have. It is a genuine superpower. Reclaiming your focus doesn't just make you feel better, it gives you an almost unfair advantage in pretty much everything you do. So, it all comes down to this. The world is built to harvest your attention, to pull it away from you piece by piece, every single day. But ultimately, the final choice is always yours. Your attention cannot be taken from you without your permission. It can only be given. So the real question we all have to ask ourselves is, what and who is truly worthy of it? So, which hack will you apply first? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Meet you on our next ZenX episode.